Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den. Today we start on our interactive journal. And we're going to do this step by step because the binding in this is similar to my memory albums and not so much like a junk journal where it's sewed in. And we'll get to that, but this time instead of using 3 pieces of cardboard, I'm just going to use one. And this was, from something that my daughter-in-law Victoria bought, and I confiscated the box. So we're going to use this. And you don't always have to have 3 separate pieces of cardboard to make your journal cover. So this one is, see, that's 12, about 14 and a half by 7.5, and the spine on this is 3 inches approximately. Now I know some of you are going to think that is an awful large spine, and normally if this was a sewn in junk journal it would be a large one, which means this would be a really hefty gal here, but because of the spine system we're using, that's not going to be a problem. So we're just doing the cover today. Now I did pull out my tape that I use. I put on the covers. And when it comes to double-sided sticky tape, you can get, it comes in 8-inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch. And then when you get to the bigger, there's 2, 4, and 6 inch. Now these I got at scrapbook.com. Most of the time they will have these on sale. If not, a Cherry on Top will have them on sale, or you can even look on Amazon. So what I'm going to do is figure out which would be the best. Now see, I could do 4 and 2, or I can do 6, and I'd really need a 1 there. So, well, we're going to go with the 6. We're just going to do it. So I'm getting out my cutting board here because what I want to do is put this under the edge and turn it over. I'm going to completely cover this in the double-sided sticky tape. Now, because we have the spine area here, I think what I'm going to do is, let's see, I can do that way. Yeah, we're going to have to do this because if we put our tape completely across here, then when you go to bend it, you're not going to have the flexibility that you need. So we're going this way. Move this up here. Go ahead and open up my little box cutter I like to use, and I'm going to bring this out some and then set this on. Oh, come on, go on out there. Stay. It doesn't want to stay. There we go. So now I know I have a little rough spot up here, so I'm going to try and avoid that area. Just lay that down. Now this stuff cuts so easy. Yeah, I'm just going to leave. Well, if I can get just run my little knife right down there, and then off it comes. Now I do know I have this overhanging here, but I'm not going to worry about it right this minute. Come down here and do the other side. And because I know that's got an uneven edge there, come over just a tad more, just so I can trim that edge off. And then come down that side, just like that. Now, good morning, Amora. Okay, trim that edge off. Might as well go ahead and do this top edge up here while I'm at it. Alright, come on. Come on, where do you want to go? Do you want to get under the desk or what? Come on. She doesn't know what she wants this morning. Well, it's hard seeing when it's on the side here, but that's okay. And then I'm really not going to worry about it over there too much. So I've got here and here. Now what I need to do is to get it on the back here. So, let's see. It's a 3-inch. So I'm going to do the 2-inch and then put the 1-inch on, or the 1/2 inch. Now, as you can see, I am not putting it on where the crease is. All right, I'm going to turn this over. Cut that part off. And then I only need 1 inch there. So I'm going to come in here with my 1/2 inch tape. Now, when I do this, it's not as bumpy as if I was to totally glue it. So it keeps my cover nice and smooth. And then another piece down here. Just like that. We have it all on the outside of our cover. All right, let me figure out where she wants to go. Now, move our tape out of the way. I'm going to move my cutter out of the way for now. And then, by all means, close that up. Now, I'm going to come in here with just, I don't think I need here, just a credit card because I don't have a bone folder that would do the whole thing. I don't have one of the wide ones yet. So all I'm doing is burnishing that tape down. Now for our cover, I have some of these papers. Now this is regular, that's 12. This is a 9x12. This is 8.5x14, but we're not going to use that one. And then I have this large one here that I love, which is a 12x17. Love that one, but don't need that. What I need are these 3 right here. Now, when you're doing your cover, I like to do these sides and then come back with here because then I can make it look like a covered spine book. Let me see, where did I put my pokey tool? Come in here and uncover that whole page. Now, I do like to hold on to these because these are good in the sticker book. It is, or you can even put them in Happy Mail and put stickers on them, or washi tape, or if you're making the vintage tape, this is good for them because you can do both sides. So I'll set that over there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come right along there and plop that down. I know you can see some through it, but I'm not worried about that. Now on this side, what I'm going to do here is trim in the corners. No, I'm not cutting it off to make it, make the sides to come over smaller, because I'm going to put a cover. I'm going to cover the inside. So get those down, and then come in here and push your page all the way in and get that crease going. Now when it comes to the corners, you see how this overlaps here? If you come in and press that down, that will make it come in just enough that you will have a straight corner. Now yes, this one here does have, where the, that locks in that top flap on the box, but you don't have to worry about that because you see it's all covered up. I'm going to pull that in, and you notice I'm not using any special tools today. You don't really need them. Oh, there's a bunch out there on the market, but why buy what you don't need? And I was, at one time, I was the type of person, oh, well, if it's there, I've got to have it. I've got to get this. No. It's taken me quite a bit to come to the conclusion that I don't need it. And a lot of that is thanks to my daughter-in-law. Because when they moved in, we went from, there was basically nothing here in the den. And we decided that since we all like working on crafts and stuff, that we could share a workroom. So I moved out of a large bedroom with a walk-in closet, and believe me, there was, it was packed. But I had to downsize in order to make it, everything work. And we went through everything. Victoria helped me, bless her heart. And what I knew I wanted to keep, of course at that time I didn't want to get rid of anything, but I did. And what I kept were things that I knew I wanted to work on again, and things that would interact with other crafts, such as beads and my beadworking stuff. I kept those because you can also use beads in your junk journal. We have dangles, we have all kinds of stuff that we can put in them. So I kept those. But I had so many that yes, I had to downsize. And she was like, well, what do you really like? Is there anything that you cannot part with at the time? At this moment, what can you not get rid of? And that was the key. Because not only did I have to downsize my workroom, but because, they had their furniture and stuff, I had my furniture and stuff. So we had to get rid of a lot of things, not just in crafts. So that's when I learned to keep what I'm going to use, what I'm not going to use, give it to someone who will use it, or donate it, or take it to Goodwill. There are a lot of people that are just starting out that would love, a lot of things and just doesn't have the money for it, because let's face it, you go to the store and this stuff is expensive. And when you're just starting out, you don't know about all the little discount places. I know some people still use Temu, some use Shine, Wish. There's a lot of, I don't even know if some of these are even still running. But, these were the ones that I knew of when I was learning. So I bought a lot of stuff like that. And then too, all of my expensive items like my big rotary cutter, my binding machine, my Big Shot, all that stuff I asked for birthdays and Christmas and stuff. So there, we've got that part done. Now we just have our spine to do. So with this, now see, I need more here and here, so that's not going to work. So I'll come in this way, and I just need to take off a bit on here. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm not going to bring my cutter in because I want to show you that you don't always need the stuff that we have. So you do one and one. Okay. So we're going to do it this way. I'm going to line this up here, just like that. And I'm just tearing. There goes one side, and then turn this around, and I'm going to do the other side. Just like that. And there is our center portion, which will go on here. Now you see how it's much wider than what we need? We're fine with that. Now I'm going to come in with just my tape. And I'm going to come down here, all the way across there. Where is Jack? And then come down the other way. Down here. Like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part off. Get my tool under here. You know, someone asked in one of the crafting groups, you know, what tools can you make? Because where they were at, tools are very expensive. Of course, where aren't they? And you know, I think one of the first tools I made was a pokey tool, and you can do it with a big darning needle or one of the big fat crewel needles, and through the eye you would wrap wire around and then take polymer clay to make your handle. So that's one way to do things. Now I've got to figure out how. Alright, I need it about here. That looks about center. And yes, I can already see I'm off a little bit, but that's okay. See, and that will wrap around just like that. Now, what I'm going to do here, before I put this side down, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to put my glue. Now, I put my glue right on that spine because it will help soften the paper enough to where we can mold it to that corner there. I probably should have put this down in sections, but I didn't. So we'll just take the whole thing off and press that side there down. And then we'll come on this side. But what you can do at this point is just put your tape back down there, you know, the top of it, just like that. Put that in as close as I can. Put that back down on top. And you notice I'm tearing it off this end, so I've got a little overlap there. And that's what'll be easier to take off. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Get it down there on that crease first. See, how far do I go over? All the way to here. I don't think I burnished it because this is hard to get off. There we go. And then push that side down. Now, if you feel that you have bubbles under there from where maybe you put too much glue in one area, just take your bone folder or whatever you're using and just smooth it out. Okay, put this one here, and I think that's should be enough. Yeah. So there. We've got that. And there is the cover. Now, remember, we did the glue down here, so that's going to help that paper stretch in those areas. So that's good. Now, I've got these two left to do, and I have this, which is our center. So I'm going to come in here with, get this out of the way, with the 2-inch tape. And I'm going to put a piece right down the middle. And even though I don't like cutting it like that, let's see if I can do it this way. Yeah, that did. Okay. Now, you know, once you do a bunch of these covers, it becomes like second nature. Go ahead and fold this up. Get that going, because you want to make sure you have it flush there and there. And then I make just a little mark there so that I know how far back to pull this tape. Because I don't want to take all of it off. Alright, there's my mark. Put a little crease in it there. And then I can come down here, remove these, and then put glue on here. Now, some may think, oh, well, that's overkill, and all that glue and all. You want this to last. You don't want to give it to somebody and then have it a few weeks later fall apart. That would be so embarrassing. I know I had that happen once. Oh. And what was so bad, it was with Nikki's mom. I did them a memory album for their 50th anniversary. And of course she showed it to everybody, and then after the first couple, well, I'd say give it about a month, and things started coming loose because all I used was tape. I did not reinforce anything with glue, which was a big mistake. So she asked me if I could fix it. So I did. I just came in and re-glued, re-taped all the little areas. There. Now, you see I've got this flushed here and that flushed. Now when you go to move to close it, you see it will pucker. So at that point, let me put my lid on here and find my bone folder. Now what I want to do is I want to come in here and set my creases in my corners. Fold it up as you go. And you see a lot of that disappears. Now a lot more of it's going to disappear when we cover the center section here. Do my creases in so that now there's a little pucker, but not a lot, and I can live with that. So now we've got to cover this part. Now, the easiest way to do it is to do the center section first and then mat the sides. So, let me see. Would that do? But see, that would be definitely too much. So I'm going to get another piece here, and I don't need to go all the way. I just need to mat it on the center. So, let me see. I know I've got a pencil somewhere. Somewhere. Ah, in the drawer where it's supposed to be. Now, no, I want to go farther over. Yeah, I want to go farther over. So I'm going to come over to here. And there's a reason behind that too. Because if you don't, then when you go to cover the inside, there's going to be a gap there. And we don't want a gap. So I'm going to tear that part there off, and I'm going to hang on to that. And then bring this back over. And then find where I want this one to go. I want to go from here to here. And mark that. And now move it back. Let's see, get this lined up so that I've got, I know right where I need to tear. There. Now we've got this section here. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to come down the sides with my tape. There goes one. And then come around here and do another. Each layer that we put on is going to strengthen our cover, whether it be the spine or, you know, the cover itself. And you might think, well, that's just one layer of paper. It's really not going to make that much of a difference, is it? You will be surprised. Now, I'm doing a piece across here because I want it to stay here. So I'll put one down there. Now I'm going to come down here and do another. Now, if you were doing this and you were making, say, a regular journal, and you wanted to put in, say, a piece of ribbon to hold as a bookmark, you know, they have some that are attached on the inside of the book. This is where you would put them. You would put them in here now and then cover this up so that they would be enclosed in here. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's where you would put them. Okay, now you notice I only did these two sides. I'm going to pull these off. There goes one, and here goes two. Then I've got this here. Now, this is where I'm going to remove this tape. So I know this is all sticky in the middle. Now, I've got from here to here, and see, it's a trick of mine on how to measure things. You know, making sure everything is where it needs to be, and I get glue everywhere I need to get it. Make sure I get it, because I know, remember, I only used a 2-inch on here. I'm going to come down this side, all over here, and this side here. Now, on cardboard, it will soak up that glue. So make sure you don't skimp on your glue on your cardboard. Now, let me go ahead and take these off. See, sometimes when I'm doing this, it will get pushed up under there, so I don't take them off right then. I know it sounds weird, but I've had it happen. And once you've made some of these, you'll see how simple it really is. Put that, make sure I got it where I want it. And then down it goes. And our spine is covered just that quick. I'm going to come back in here with my bone folder and make my creases. Smooth that down. And come on this side and do the same thing. There. Now all that's left is to cover here and here. So I could do it with these. Let's see, would I have enough if it was half? No, I wouldn't. Well, it would, but it would look funny. So, do I want to do it with this, or do I want to do I think I'm going to wait, because I think I want to do something else on the inside. A different kind of paper. So, let me see what I've got some in here. Don't see the one I'm looking for. Not in this bunch. And if you're like me, you've got paper in several different places. So, well, that's not gonna stop. I'll put that up in a minute. Let's see, what about let's see this one. What do I want to use? I've got some that are regular paper, some are cardstock. So it's not really going to matter. Because I'm going to do something on the inside cover. So if I put something too much there. Ooh, that one looked good. I covered up my cover. But how far does that need to be? All right, I can do that. I can do that one. So, but as you see, I've got all this white here. And I'm just going to trim it off. Yeah, that's gonna, we're gonna be okay. In fact, I think I'm gonna stop there and figure out where the center of this, so this is actually 10.5, so I need 5 1/4. Well, 5 1/4, yeah, that'll work. So I'm gonna come down here, and you know me, I hate measuring, but sometimes you have to. 5 1/4 there, come here, 5 1/4, and then I'm going to connect these two lines. I know some people say do it 3 times, but I'm just going to do it on the 2 ends. Now, yes, I did leave that up there, but this is going to be taller than what I need. So, now, got that. Put this down here. And mark this here and here. And we're going to tear that part off. And to make sure I get it correct on both sides, line this up and move my marks over. Just like that. Now, and here. Now, if you're like me and you've got a problem getting your paper straight, if you've got a straight edged ruler and I mean straight down here, you can come in here, line it up with that edge, and tear it. Normally, this would work. Because I'm doing it on camera today, watch it. It won't work. But we're going to try it anyway. It's worked in the past. And now I have this one here. And I am not going to ink this. I know, shock of shocks, right? You know me, I love to ink my pages. Now, make sure the writing is going the right way. And what I'm doing is I'm centering from this side, because that I don't want that to go all the way over. See, so now it'll look just like that, which is just what I want on here. So I'm going to come in here and do the same thing with this. Line that up. Tear this part off. I know this is going to be a little bit of a lengthy video, but we got to get the cover made. Okay. As the rest of the book is going to be so much fun. If y'all have ideas for the pages in here, leave them in the comments. And I will do my best to try to incorporate them. Now, make sure, yep, that's the right way. Do the same thing on this side. Put it where I want it to go. On there and down. And there we go. Our cover for now is done. Next video we'll work on the spine, but this is what we've got. And then, so are y'all ready for the new one? Our interactive junk journal? If you like what I've shared with you today on making a cover, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. Click the subscription button and the little bell notification, because Tuesdays and Thursdays are our junk journal days. We're working in our jewel tone, and then we'll be working in our interactive. Saturday is whatever type of day, whatever's on the desk. For future, just to give y'all a heads up, there may be some time, and I'll let you know when it happens, that I may have to take a few weeks off because Nikki has to have a triple bypass, and I will be over there with him, taking care of him through recovery. But I will let you all know what goes on with that. So until next time, bye guys.